Once upon a time, in a bright house with a beautiful garden, lived a girl named Cinderella. She was kind, played the lute, and talked to the birds. But her life changed when her father passed away, leaving her with a cold-hearted stepmother and two vain stepsisters, Anastasia and Drizella. They took away her fine clothes and made her do all the work. Cinderella scrubbed the floors, cooked the meals, and slept by the fireplace to stay warm. Because she was always covered in dust and cinders, they laughed and called her Cinderella. Despite their cruelty, Cinderella remembered her mother's last words. "Have courage and be kind." She shared her crumbs with the mice and sang while she worked, dreaming of a better life. One morning, a loud knock sounded at the door. It was the king's messenger. "A royal ball," he announced. "Every young maiden in the kingdom is invited to meet the prince." The stepsisters screamed with joy. Cinderella's heart leaped. "May I go too?" she asked. The stepmother smirked. "If you finish all your chores and find something suitable to wear, you may go." Cinderella worked twice as hard. She found an old dress of her mother's and fixed it with ribbons and beads her mouse friends gathered. But when she showed the stepsisters, they grew jealous. "Those are my beads," Drizella yelled. They tore the dress to rags and left Cinderella crying in the garden as they drove away to the palace. As Cinderella wept, a soft light began to glow. An old woman appeared with a gentle smile. "Don't cry, child. Dry your tears," she said. "I am your fairy godmother." With a flick of her wand and the words "bibbidi-bobbidi-boo," magic filled the air. A pumpkin from the patch turned into a glittering gold carriage. The mice turned into 4 white horses. A garden rat became a sturdy coachman. Cinderella's rags transformed into a shimmering gown of blue silk. Finally, the fairy godmother gave her a pair of glass slippers. "One warning, Cinderella," she said gravely. "The spell ends at the stroke of midnight. Your carriage will become a pumpkin again, and your clothes will turn back to rags." Cinderella entered the ballroom, and the music stopped. Everyone wondered who the beautiful princess was. The prince, who had been bored all night, walked straight to her and asked for a dance. They danced for hours, talking and laughing as if they had known each other forever. Cinderella was so happy she forgot the time until the clock began to chime. "Dawn! Dawn! I must go!" she cried. She ran down the palace steps, and in her haste, one of her glass slippers fell off. She didn't stop to pick it up. As the 12th stroke rang out, her carriage vanished. She was left on the road in her old rags, with nothing but one glass slipper hidden in her pocket. The prince was heartbroken, but he found the glass slipper on the stairs. He declared, "I will marry the girl whose foot fits this slipper." The Grand Duke visited every house. The stepsisters tried to shove their big feet into the tiny shoe, but it was no use. "Is there no one else?" the Duke asked. The stepmother tried to hide Cinderella, but the girl stepped forward. "May I try?" The stepmother laughed, but the Duke insisted. Cinderella sat down, and the slipper slid onto her foot perfectly. It was a match. Cinderella pulled the second slipper from her pocket to prove it. The prince was called, and he recognized her eyes immediately. He took her to the palace, where they were married in a grand ceremony. Cinderella forgave her stepsisters, and she lived happily ever after.